Good morning. This is the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. My name's Dave Burney.
And I'm Brent Apperson. Good morning.
7:32 is your time. Pretty nice morning out there. Big old moon this morning. Man, that moon is beautiful this morning. Not quite a harvest moon yet, but sure looked like one. All right, let's take a look here for a moment, and let's do this first, because sometimes we work it in later. But I know we're approaching the second half of the week, and that means sports, and more sports. I know we have Nebraska volleyball coming up this week. We have high school volleyball, and we have football. Can you tell us the schedule?
I'll try. Let's see. Tonight, we're going to Ansley. Going to do the Ansley-Litchfield Triangular with Central Valley, Ansley, Litchfield, or Acadia Loop City. That'll be volleyball tonight. We'll have the matches for you on the radio, KBBN 95.3 FM, KBBN.com. Also going to take along the video camera. Jack Simpson debuts as our video producer and engineer tonight. So appreciate Jack's help. Larry will help me call the matches, and we'll have them for you tonight on the video stream as well, which you can access through sandhillsexpress.com. Wednesday night, tomorrow, we got Husker volleyball, big match, Nebraska taking on Stanford, and we'll broadcast that for you on KBBN 95.3 FM. Coverage on the network will start at 6 o'clock. And then Thursday, we have a special high school football broadcast. We'll have our area game of the week on Thursday this week when South Loop travels to Stapleton to take on Sandhills Valley. Kickoff for that, 7 o'clock. Coverage will start with the consolidated pregame show at 6. That'll be on Thursday night. Also Thursday evening, I'll be in Lexington, and we'll be covering Broken Bow volleyball as the Lady Indians take on Lexington. The volleyball match will be Thursday night on KCNI 96.3 FM and KCNI1280.com. Varsity match is scheduled for 7 o'clock. And then on Friday, Husker football. That is correct. Nebraska will play Illinois Friday night this week, so we will broadcast it for you on KBBN 95.3 FM. Pre-game coverage of the Huskers Friday will start at 5 o'clock on the Huskers radio network. Meanwhile, Kirk and I will be in Ord on Friday. We'll have Broken Bow football, Broken Bow against Ord on KCNI 96.3 FM and KCNI1280.com. And then I can't believe I'm saying Saturday. Nothing Saturday, but Sunday, we've got more volleyball. Nebraska plays Louisville, I believe, on Sunday, and I'll have to double-check. I think airtime is early, like at 10:30 on Sunday, but we'll be giving you more details on that. But, yeah, that's what's coming up.
All right, a little different schedule this week, so I would kind of want to be sure and get that out there because of the Friday Husker game, which I know you're not in favor of, but
I'm not.
They don't listen to us.
Well, and there was an article in the Omaha World Herald this week. I think Tom Chattel wrote it, and he was talking about, like, I think it was Michigan and Ohio State, if I remember correctly, but they've kind of come out and said, we will not play on Friday night, Big Ten Conference. And I'm like, no. That's not the way that should work. Well, you just can't tell the Big Ten Conference is telling us we have to play on Friday. So I think every conference school needs to take their turn, or else nobody should. Well, personally, nobody should be playing on Friday night. That's high school football. But I'm passionate about that. I'm passionate about Friday night. That's the night for the high school kids, and that's just the way I feel.
Well, I'm sorry, it's the Ohio State.
Yeah, right.
So they can do whatever they want.
Well,
They've changed their name
and they
legally
yes.
to the Ohio State. So forget about it.
Yeah, but I read that article and it just made me even more mad. But so yeah, it is what it is. Fortunately, it's just one Friday out of the season, at least for now.
Yeah, for now.
So anyway, but the cool thing for us is we still were able to get an area game on with South Loop and Sand Hills Valley playing on Thursday. So we're very fortunate and happy about that. And so we'll still get our area game and Broken Bow football on the air for you this week.
All right, very good. This note here this morning, the Blaine County Courthouse will be closed on Wednesday, September 18th for a funeral service. So the Blaine County Courthouse will be closed tomorrow for a funeral service, and they wanted you to know that ahead of time so you could plan around that schedule. Let's take a look at the school lunch menus and see what's going on.
All right. We'll get started by going to Cozad to start the day. Nacho pie on the menu today, also hot dogs and a pizza bar at Cozad today.
Prairie Pioneer Center featuring baked spaghetti, mixed veggies, and fruit today. The number to call is 872-6121. Let them know you're coming, and you can also set up home delivery at that same number.
Litchfield today showing a chicken patty on the lunch menu today at Litchfield.
And Selma Myrna Schools, it's biscuits and gravy with scrambled eggs, cheeseburger, Uncrustable cheese and cracker platter.
Gothenburg today, made fresh beef enchilada lasagna, also grilled chicken sandwich, made fresh Hawaiian pizza, fresh baked ham and cheese sub, and a pizza snackable on the menu today at Gothenburg.
Ansley Schools, ham and scallop potatoes today.
Callaway School today, sweet and sour chicken on the menu at Callaway.
Arcadia, Italian subs.
All right, Broken Bow Middle and High School today, biscuit and gravy with scrambled eggs, cheeseburger, fresh-baked Italian turkey sub, and the grill station combo today is crispy chicken sandwich basket at Broken Bow.
Arnold Schools, chicken fajitas, fruit, vegetables, and milk.
Sandhill School in Dunning, barbecue meatballs, scalloped potatoes, and green beans at Sandhills.
Sargent, homemade pizza, corn, fruit cup, and pumpkin cake. And let's see if I have another one here. I do. Today at Thedford, it's hot dogs, fruit, vegetables, and milk at Thedford today. Did want to, just a side note here, had the pleasure of covering the school board meeting last night, which, by the way, are now being held for the rest of this year at the Broken Bow Library due to the construction that is taking place up at the school and renovation.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a story posted on Sandhills Express, but I'm going to just be honest with you. As they were going through all of the budget discussions and so forth about tax levies and budgets and so forth, they have it all on paper, and it's all very, very clear except to Dave.
I would be right in that category with you, my friend.
So I wrote this story, put it up there for you, because one of the things that they had to do last night was delay a vote on the budget hearing and tax request hearings because of a publication issue. So they're going to be meeting on September 30th at the Broken Bow Library at noon. That's normally this would be their work session. So they're going to go ahead and once they get the publication things out that they need to, then they're going to meet on September 30th for their work session. And in that work session, they're going to vote on those two items. And Mr. Toby, very transparent about things. He says, we want the public to come. You're invited to come to that meeting. And he said, if anybody has questions in the room last night, I'll be sure and ask. So I just went up and said, would you come out to the station and go through some of this? I think it would be healthy for us. And Mr. Toby was very, very willing to do that. And we'll get a time set up. I'd like to get him on the breakfast show or public affairs or both. Both would be good to kind of run down some things. It's their budget is very understandable, but when you have the bond issue mixed in with that,
Sure.
it gets a little confusing to my little mind. They explain it very well, and so I think it'd be great if they would explain it here on the air. And Malachi Behrens, who is the North Park Elementary principal, was discussing and presenting a presentation last night on a new teacher evaluation program that they're using this year. That's it's not brand new, but it's brand new to the Broken Bow schools. They think it's a better system than what they had been using, and also invited him to come out and talk about it because it's a very beneficial program for the teachers, students, administration, and it's very in-depth. So if we get a chance in the next few days before that September 30th meeting, we're going to get those guys on the air.
Sounds good.
So, yeah. So we can dive into the details.
Yeah.
It's hard to write a radio story, as you know, with a lot of details in it. And I just want to make sure we don't make a mistake on it, and those guys know exactly what they're doing. So we'll get them out here. All right, let's play the game.
All right, here we go. New batch of questions. Oh, man. Who watched the television show Friends? I'm raising my hand.
They're still watching it.
Yes, absolutely, still watching it. Wow, premiered 30 years ago.
Oh, my gosh.
On September 22nd, 1994. So we're going to ask some questions about Friends. Here we go. On the show, who was the neat freak? Everything had to be perfect. Everything had to be clean. Who was the neat freak? Was it Rachel, Phoebe, Monica, or Joey? If you know the answer, call us at 872-2801.
It's Tumbleweed Day.
Wake up to the best.
I never miss a morning.
You're listening to The Breakfast Show.
Go and enjoy delicious home-style food and dine at the Tumbleweed Cafe from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day. Or if you're on the go, swing through the drive-thru. In the morning, grab hot and fresh breakfast items. Need a dinner for the family at home, but don't have the time to make it yourself? Breakfast casseroles, Reuben casseroles, chicken pot pies, lasagna, enchiladas, fresh bread, and more are ready to go home with you to pop in the oven from the Tumbleweed Cafe in Broken Bow.
We have Jessica on the line. Good morning, Jessica. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, not too bad. It's Tuesday already, and we're enjoying the fall weather, summer/fall weather. How about you?
Yes, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's been nice. Let's see if we can brighten your day with a tumbleweed treat here. Here's Brent.
All right, Jessica, were you a Friends fan? Did you watch Friends?
Yes, every episode several times.
Oh, amen. Me too. Okay, this should be easy for you. Who on the show was the neat freak? Was it Rachel, Phoebe, Monica, or Joey?
Monica.
Of course it was Monica, yes. And because you've answered correctly, we got a certificate that's going to get you one of those delicious small take-and-bake casseroles from the Tumbleweed Cafe. So come on out and see us when you can, and we'll have your certificate ready for you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jessica. Have a great day.
You too.
7:45 is your time. And let's just see if we can bring back some more memories here.
Oh.
The anniversary of the premiere of MASH on television 52 years ago today on CBS. In 1972, premiered on the first episode. It was a spinoff from the movie that followed a mobile hospital during the Korean War. The series would win 14 Emmys and just ranked all the time in the top 10 when it was on the air. Ran for 11 seasons. MASH.
I've seen every episode of it, too.
I remember the movie very well. Went out to the Broken Bow Drive-In Theater.
Oh, yeah.
And watched MASH on the big screen out there. And then, boom, it wasn't very long, and they started the series, and it ran for many, many years, and the characters became really part of our lives.
Yep.
So, yeah. It's also the National Professional House Cleaners Day.
Ah, okay.
Gotta have them, love them. They're good at it. And they can make things look much cleaner than many of us can. We appreciate your work there. And it's also National IT Professionals Day.
Huh?
And a lot of times they just tell you to reboot,
Yes.
which means unplug it.
And lots of times it actually works.
Yeah, it does. The other part of it is that sometimes they don't mean to, but when you talk to an IT guy on the phone or even in person sometimes, they try to bring it down to our level.
Yeah.
Still, you feel kind of inadequate in that area.
Oh, I hear you.
National IT Professionals Day. And very important day, National Voter Registration Day. Only 49 days until the election. Please get registered and vote. It is believed there are 41 million Americans who are eligible to vote but still not registered. So we need to improve that. Jason Eberly is here from Arrow Seed. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. So did you watch MASH when you were young?
Oh, you betcha.
Yeah. Friends?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. I've
Yeah.
actually watched more of the reruns. I didn't watch Friends that much when it was on, but now you turn to every channel and it's somewhere, right?
Oh, yep.
Yeah. And the characters are still funny.
Yeah, they are. I watch it every once in a while,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. They get into some apartment predicaments, I would call it.
Yeah.
So, how's things at Arrow Seed?
It's going good. Going good.
So we're kind of in the brink here now of maybe doing some things with our lawns late fall. We'll probably do something again going into winter to winterize, and I know you guys can help with that.
You bet. We got the 5-step program. We're on step 4 right now, so it's time. So, yeah, come on and see us, and we can get you set up for that 4th step.
All right. And we always like to highlight is that if you're thinking, well, I better wait and get in on step 1 and go through all the steps, you can jump in anytime if you just decided I need to get started with this. You don't have to wait till next year to start with step 1, I don't think. So,
Oh, no. Yeah, you bet. You can start step 4, step 5. Just let us know what square footage you have, and we'll get you set up from there.
okay. All right. Now, you brought some notes, so that means you have some things you want to talk about.
Yeah, there's just a couple things. It's getting fall. We're going to have cows going out to corn stalks here before too long. I mean, silage is getting chopped. Beans are going to be coming out before long, and corn, and a lot of electric fence going up.
Yeah.
So we're Gallagher dealers, so come in for all your fencing supplies. We got everything. If we don't have it, we can get it for you.
Jason, I think Gallagher is known for its toughness out there, but if it does maybe get run over by a mad cow or bull or something trying to bust through the fence, you guys are pretty good about having parts, and a lot of times can get them fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you bet. I'm learning on that, and yeah, we fixed quite a few of them.
Are you?
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of different things that can happen with electric fence. It's all good, but there can be some things happen, right?
Yeah, and if parts get too expensive, and that we do have a trade-in program on Gallagher fencers, old Gallagher fencers, 15% off. So that helps go towards a new one.
Yeah. Well, it isn't far away. We'll start hearing the calves bawl down at the barn when they get to weaning, and then, as you say, pretty soon they'll be moving out on the stocks. Although this year the grass is held up pretty well, so that's been helpful. But there are some people out there that use fencing to section off pastures
You bet.
to use it in a very good way, right?
Yeah, rotational grazing, you bet.
Yeah. So you can help with that too. Is that a little bit different type fencing?
Yeah, there's just Gallagher's got some ways to make it so simple. Some of their poly wire, push in just step in posts, make it really simple and quick.
Yeah, and the solar side of it's changed everything, as far as using the solar to charge the fence.
Oh, you bet. And Gallagher's got a newer, it's the MBS model, which you can run it off a battery, plug in, or buy the solar kit. So you got one fencer and all in one.
Yeah, so it'll work whichever way you want.
Whichever way you want it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, do those have, like, I'm thinking these days with all of the advancements, if it's on solar and you have it plugged in, does it know to go back and forth? Do they have those, or is it just you set it up the way you want?
Yeah, I think you just set it up the way you want it. Yep, and unfortunately, you do have to buy like the kit for the solar on it. That doesn't come with that, so it comes ready set up for battery or just AC plug-in.
Yeah. When's the last time you grabbed an electric fence, Jason?
Logan died laughing here about a week ago because I got the battery that's inside some of them. I got a little buzz right there at the counter. So
you didn't really grab the fence; you got the battery.
Yeah, because they hold a little charge in them.
Oh man, does it kick or just?
Oh, that just kind of, and I did it twice because I didn't even know what happened the first time, and I went to do what I was doing, and got me again.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you're okay.
Oh, you bet.
Okay. All right. Anything else on your list there?
Just one more. We are looking for a retail associate in the retail store.
Okay.
So if there's anybody out there wanting to change it up or looking for a job, stop on in.
Okay. Maybe working with you for that.
You bet.
All right. Well, you seem like an easy guy to get along with.
Oh, I'm super easy to get along with.
So let's go back to the yards for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, when you have these step programs that you offer, just to kind of clarify, you can rent the machinery to put it on, or they can use their own. How's that work for sure?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a spreader, we've got a handful of spreaders. We'll have them set up with the right settings for you, and if you're buying the fertilizer from us, you just use it and bring her back and get it the next time.
Okay.
Too.
All right. Let's move over to the seed side because I know you have experience there. That is kind of where you, spent so many years.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we at right now? Are you cleaning seed? Where are you at?
Yeah, they've been cleaning a lot of wheat, bringing a lot of rye in for cover crops now that beans and silage, are getting cut, and so yeah, a lot of that stuff. Some cover crops yet. I guess you can consider the rye as a cover crop, just to keep something. The soil health is their main goal, and keep something green and growing as long as you can, because that's the best thing to do for your ground.
That's the name of the game. Yeah.
You bet.
Yeah. Back to the lawns again.
Mm-hmm.
Are we in the fall window for replanting grass right now?
Yeah, we're kind of getting towards the tail end if we want it to grow right now.
Mm-hmm.
If not, we kind of wait till spring or after we get some people like to interseed a little bit when the ground's frozen, let that freeze thaw, snow, take the seed down into your yard, your ground. Yep.
Yeah, that kind of works sometimes.
Sometimes,
yeah. Is buffalo grass, does that fit into the window at the same time as your other grasses, or is it a little different?
We're kind of past the buffalo grass.
Okay.
You don't want it to start growing yet this fall.
Right.
Probably get a little winter kill on it. So what they're saying is, wait till November if you want to do it, or spring.
Doesn't it take a little patience with buffalo grass? I know we have some arrow seed buffalo grass out back,
Mm-hmm.
and we mixed it with a rye
Mm-hmm.
to get it started. And I made a big mistake because I let the rye get too tall before I mowed it. I didn't know if do I mow this or not, and I let it get too tall, and so then it laid heavy in clumps, and wherever that happened, I didn't have the buffalo grass come up. That was my fault.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had to hire a commercial mower to come in and cut that. Rye is pretty hard to cut after it gets a little taller.
Yeah.
But over the years, just patience, that buffalo grass keeps crawling slowly and fills in, doesn't it?
It sure does. I mean, buffalo grass and a lot of the pasture grasses, you just got to have your patience.
Yeah.
Keep mowing whatever you got, the weeds, nipping them off to keep them from seeding again.
Yeah.
And patience is the game for those type of grasses. Yep.
Yep. And I think this spring and early summer helped a lot. We had those nice timely rains, and it seemed like it crawled even a little bit more this spring and summer.
Yeah, beautiful rains this year that we hadn't had in the last few years, and hopefully we have some moisture through the winter and next spring to keep all the grasses. I mean, just keep everything going.
Yeah. Well, we got a little time left. Maybe if we want to plant some traditional yard lawn grass, but we're at the tail end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I was thinking of Brent maybe coming over and spreading a little seed over at your place.
Oh, thanks, Dave. Sure. Yeah. Well, here's his idea. He wants to spread seed on my lawn, get more grass, and then come over and mow it when I'm not around, and then send me a bill.
Oh,
That's kind of the way Dave operates. I
There
don't
you
know
go.
if you know this or not. He has a side mowing business,
oh,
and that's kind of the way Dave operates.
gotcha.
Just shows up, mows your lawn, and then sends you the bill.
I also sharpen knives and have pest control.
Hey, speaking of pest control, you still got some of them mouse traps and stuff? Because I think the mice have kind of been around
Yeah,
a little bit.
We've got all the, the mouse control, the
Yeah.
baits, and we have the new CO2
Yeah.
traps that, if you've never seen it, we have a little TV screen, a little video of them in at the store, and it's kind of crazy. But I know talking with Robbie, our dealer, he said at Husker Harvest Days, they just sold out really quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're very effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I heard a story, was a family member. They lived down in Omaha, and I told her about this. I said, try to find those, because this is probably kind of a common story, but they had a tree in the yard that blew over or tipped over, so all the roots kind of came up. Next thing you know, she's got like 14, 15, she put traps in her garage because she started seeing mice because they came out from underneath those roots in the yard.
Oh, wow.
And were trying to find a new home, and they found her garage as a new home. And she said she got like something like 14 or 15 trapped in a pretty short period of time.
Yeah.
But
and-
she was using those sticky traps, and she said they were effective, but they're kind of cruel.
Yeah.
Now the CO2, not so cruel, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty instant. Yeah, just watching the videos, they have the bait up top in a little tube, and they crawl up to eat the bait, and it gets them.
Yeah. And as Brent mentioned, there seems to be an awful lot of mice running around pretty early in the year right now. So
Yeah, I don't know if that's any indication of the winter.
Yeah.
Maybe that's coming.
don't go there, Jason.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. The fall days, if you believe in the fall days, this could be a good winter.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was in the other day and said that their old farmer and rancher friends still go by the Farmer's Almanac, and they were talking about quite a bit of snow in October. So have you heard that?
A little bit,
Yeah.
and I don't know. To me, I'll watch a lot of the wildlife, and it seemed like doves came through really early and fast, and the locusts started chirping early, and
They did.
And so yeah, it's gonna be a interesting fall and winter, I think.
The older you get, the less you like winter. I think that's just the way it is.
I'm kind of the opposite anymore.
Are you really?
Yeah,
You like it?
I don't get to fish in the summertime anymore, so I like ice fishing, and so
yeah.
I love the winter.
Well, ice fishing is fun, and that's something that you can still get out and do rather than stare at the walls in the winter, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I hope you have ice, but not too much snow.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Or a nice even layer of snow would be really good.
Yeah.
Just always is windy in this neck of the woods, as you know.
Yep.
Let's not talk about winter anymore.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the hours at Arrow Seed. What hours you guys open?
7:30 to 5:30 every day, and then until 12:30 at noon on Saturdays.
All right, 5.5 days a week. Arrow Seed and Broken Bow. Don't forget they have the bird seed,
Yes.
and also, of course, all of the things with hunting season coming on to process your own game, right?
Oh yeah, we've been getting that all kind of set up and getting it restocked, and we'll have everything you need for your deer. If you do your own cows, pigs, all the seasoning, jerky mixes, sausages, sticks. We'll have all that good stuff.
Got it all.
You bet.
All right, thank you, sir.
You bet.
Thanks for
you guys.
coming in. Arrow Seed in Broken Bow, Nebraska. We'll take a quick time out, catch up on the news.
Are you concerned dry weather could impact your pasture, rangeland, or forage next year? PRF Insurance from Farm Credit Services of America offers protection against the risk of loss due to lack of precipitation in your grid. You choose the time period, coverage level, and number of acres to insure, and we do the rest. Apply by December 1st to easily lock in your PRF insurance.
Visit the Broken Bow location on West Highway 2 or call 872-2461.
This institution is an equal opportunity provider and employer.
KBBN is proud to partner with Adams Land and Cattle again this year to support local backpack programs and food pantries during the Food for Youth Challenge. Through the 25th, bring food donations to our studios on West Highway 2 in Broken Bow. Accepted items include canned items like ravioli, soup, vegetables, and fruit. Boxed foods like macaroni, pasta, cereal, hamburger helper, Jell-O, or fruit snacks, or even peanut butter. If you want to make a monetary donation, you can do that too. Make checks out to the Custer County Foundation and specify Food for Youth. Last year, over 6,700 snacks and meals and over $6,000 in gift cards and donations were raised. Together, we can surpass those amazing numbers in 2024. So bring those donations to the KBBN studios soon, and together, we can make a difference.
You are listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Go, go, go! On KCNI, KBBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
CBS News Brief. Sean Combs due to be arraigned at court in New York after he was arrested last night following allegations of sex assault and raids on his home in L.A. and Miami. Legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
This type of months-long delay is not unheard of. So you execute a search warrant and then you spend a lot of time going through all the evidence to determine if there's enough there to bring charges.
Former President Donald Trump speaks about Sunday's apparent assassination attempt in a new interview on X.
You have a radical left force, and we have forces, I say that we have a lot of evil in the world.
A massive natural gas pipeline explosion is still smoldering southeast of Houston. Christina Reff lives near the site in Deer Park.
It was very intense. They say it's like 105 heat index today, and I'm telling you it was probably 120 or higher.
Power was knocked out to as many as 1,000 customers. CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Rita, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Here's a look at Nebraska news. In a story released by KSMB, a Grand Island teen is accused of stabbing another teen with a knife on Friday. Officers responded to the Casey's gas station at 1420 South Locust Friday afternoon. GIPD said two groups of teens had an ongoing dispute that boiled into a fight involving several teams. During the fight, a 17-year-old boy stabbed another 17-year-old in the back. The victim had a lacerated spleen, according to the police. GIPD Captain Dean Elliott said the suspect was cited for first-degree assault, use of a deadly weapon to commit a felony, and tampering with evidence. The teen suspect was sent to the juvenile detention facility in Madison. In other Nebraska news, in a story released by KNOP, a Union Pacific train derailed over the weekend in Dawson County near mile marker 216 on Highway 30 close to Gothenburg. Cleanup crews were on the scene Monday. Despite the derailment, both eastbound and westbound rail traffic continued, and the traffic on Highway 30 was unaffected. This is a developing story. Union Pacific officials have been contacted for further information. This has been a Nebraska News Update. I'm Jack Simpson reporting for Central Nebraska's news source.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
Week 2 in the NFL came to a close with Monday Night Football in Philadelphia, where the Falcons pull out a 22-21 win over the Eagles. With a minute 39 left, down 6 points, Atlanta quarterback Kirk Cousins led the team on a 6-play, 70-yard drive and capped it with a 7-yard touchdown pass to Drake London. The extra point gave Atlanta the 1-point lead with 34 seconds left, and that was the difference. Cousins finished 20 of 29 passing for 249 yards. With 2 touchdowns in the victory. Both teams are now 1-1 on the season. In NFL news, the Carolina Panthers are benching former first overall pick quarterback Bryce Young. Andy Dalton will start this weekend against the Raiders. Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks with a fractured fibula that will require surgery. In baseball, Mets beat the Nationals 2-1 in 10 innings, while the Braves were shut out by the Dodgers 9-0. So the Mets now have a 1-game lead on Atlanta for the final wildcard spot in the National League.
Here's your weatherology forecast. Mainly sunny skies today with daytime highs approaching 88. Southerly winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Chance for scattered thunderstorms tonight, lows level off around 63. Cloudy skies expected. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, slight chance for isolated thunderstorms. High temperatures reach up to 83. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki.
Here's a couple of awesome words for you. New shipment. They just received a new shipment of Russell Stover and Baker's chocolates at Varney Pharmacy. From hard candies to dark and milk chocolate, the variety is great and you know they're always delicious. Baker's chocolates are from right here in Nebraska, and their chocolate melt-aways are amazing. Head in and buy for yourself, or you could buy for someone else. They'll love you for it. Varney Pharmacy, downtown Broken Bow.
Dave and Brent.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
On KCNI KBBN Radio.
All right, thank you very much. 63 degrees outside under a sunny sky. Winds are light out of the south. Barometric pressure rising at 2989. Been pretty steady up until now. It may be just bouncing back and forth as it sometimes does. Humidity at 86%. High temperature yesterday, 84. I believe it was 85 out at the airport yesterday. An overnight low of 63. Sunset at 7:45. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:22. 700 precipitation measured so far this month. And it is very, very dry out there, so be very, very careful out there with any burning materials, sparks, that sort of thing. It's really dried out, as you folks out there know. That's a look at weather and news. We are going to be talking to the doctor.
Oh, the doctor's in the house.
He is in the house. Dr. Jacobson from Click Family Healthcare coming in right after these words.
It takes hard work and determination to build a winning team. It also takes hard work to finish the laundry list of projects around your home. Refresh your space by completing that list with the help of a HELOC from Bruning Bank. If an updated look is not enough and you're ready to buy a new home or your dream home, we can help with that too. Navigating a home purchase can be confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let our friendly, experienced staff guide you to owning the home of your dreams. You can apply in person, online at bruningbank.com, or give us a call at 308-872-2757 to get you started. Bruning Bank, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 473773, member FDIC.
Ace Hardware is celebrating 100 years of Helpful, and they want to see you soon at RT Ace Hardware in Broken Bow. Mix and match Ace Premium Spray Paint and Primers, 2 for $10. Rust Stop Spray Paint is 2 for $12. Right now, when you buy select Milwaukee M18 power tools and kits, you get a red lithium XC battery for free, a $159 value. For your outdoor projects, nothing is as tough as steel. Save $50 on a BGA 57 battery-powered blower kit or the MS250 gas chainsaw. RTA's Hardware at Broken Bow, open Monday to Friday 7:30 to 6, Saturday 8 to 4, and Sunday 11 to 5.
Thanks for starting your day with us.
It's gonna be a good day.
Every morning.
KCNI, KBBN Radio.
8:11, as we said, 63 degrees outside. Dr. Jacobson is here from Click Family Healthcare. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Like your shirt. You always wear nice shirts.
Well, thank my wife.
I'll raise my hand to that.
All right, I've got the opening question.
All right.
How many people in the last 2 weeks? I'm going to even narrow it down to the last 2 weeks. How many people have come to you and said, I got to do something about these allergies.
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah. And the other thing that you see is people calling saying, I have a sinus infection. Well, why do you have a sinus infection? This time of the year, number one cause in Nebraska is uncontrolled allergies.
Yeah.
So the nasal mucosa swells up, the sinuses don't drain, and we get a sinus infection. So there's a lot of viral stuff. You always go through that first 2 to 3 weeks of school. So we're kind of seeing it now in Broken Bow since they started after Labor Day of, kids, parents calling, kids got the sniffles, those kind of things. So, determining was it allergies versus a viral versus a bacterial infection. So we spend quite a bit of time trying to educate our customers on that, which is what and what to look for.
Yeah. I actually took a COVID test last night because I really felt rotten yesterday. And I thought maybe I was headed that direction, and there's some going around.
Yep.
Fortunately, it didn't test that way. But even with allergies, it can kind of hit you and make you feel bad on a particular day.
Sure. Well, I mean, the biggest thing is that you don't sleep very good.
Yeah.
When you're congested, you don't get in a good deep REM for sleep. So, you wake up tired, then you wake up, you got that sore, scratchy throat because your nose is plugged, so you're breathing through your mouth. That dries out your throat, but you still have the drainage. And that's a lot of people we just do a lot of time of educating about that.
Mm-hmm.
People walk in and I'll ask them, how are your allergies? Well, I don't have allergies. I said, well, you got allergic shiners, meaning you got little black eyes. Your lips are dry and cracked, which means it tells me you're breathing through your mouth, not your nose. And then we do the rest of the exam and say, well, you're allergic to something. Well, I've just, but most of the people as adults especially, we just deal with it. Kids are very adaptable to allergies. The old allergic salute of a kid that, and they snort in and they rub their nose up, and kids can actually get a crease across the bridge of their nose from doing that. So it is the season. It is. With ragweed season, and now it's dry enough now. And then yesterday we had winds 30, 40 mile an hour out of the south. So whatever is in Kansas blows this way, and tomorrow whatever's in South Dakota will blow back by us.
Yeah, we're kind of in the middle here. Yeah, and it is a little confusing because some people maybe didn't ever think they had allergies. Maybe they had allergies for years and think that's what it is, and it isn't. So your job is kind of difficult.
Well, the biggest thing I tell people is allergies, typically you're not going to get a fever. You can feel tired, you can feel run down. Some people will get a headache. Some people get some vertigo, where the room kind of spins, ears are plugged, blowing your nose, those kind of things. One of the first things people say, well, I think I have a sinus infection because I'm blowing green. And you blow green in the morning, but then it gets clear, that's not a sinus infection. As we sleep, the clear drainage gets oxidized, turns yellow-green, we blow it out, then it's clear, it's allergies or a virus. So when I look at people's noses, if it's clear and watery, I think allergies. If it's watery to maybe a little chalky colored, we're maybe now allergies to viral, gets that yellow-green, now we got a bacterial sinus infection. And those are kind of the things that we try to help our customers understand, so that they're not running to the doctor, taking time off, or feel like they need to give us a call.
Mm-hmm.
We're always more than happy to see them, but a lot of times people don't want to take off work to come see us.
Yeah,
and that's one of the neat things about your model is that they can do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
do that. We've had some pink eye here in the last month or so. So parents can pull the eyelid down, take a picture, and send it to me, and it's like, well, yeah. Walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. So where do you want the antibiotics in, or do you want, in Kearney we can dispense from our clinic where we don't up here. But just a lot of that is just helping people, just educating people on what to watch for. Typical virus, a lot of people call and say, I got a fever of 101. When did it start? Well, it started last night. More than likely it's viral. So less typical virus, 3 to 10 days. Let's see what happens, 3-4 days. If you're not getting better or your symptoms are getting a lot worse, then okay, let's take a look at you, because maybe it is bacterial.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not a lot of things that start out bacterial. There are some, but not a lot of things start out bacterial right from the get-go.
So we're approaching, I imagine, maybe flu season was all summer. There has been some COVID around. What have you been seeing?
Definitely COVID. We've had some positives. We've had a couple negatives that I think they probably were COVID. I think they were probably false negatives that, headache, body aches, nausea, vomiting with it, some with diarrhea. A little bit of influenza, but the state's really not reporting much influenza.
Right.
In fact, I just ordered some flu shots yesterday because, the first 5 years ago, we gave about 250 flu shots. Last year, we gave 40.
Really?
Yeah, I think people with the COVID vaccine, people were just so turned off that, they stayed away from it. So hopefully this year we'll get people back to getting vaccinated for influenza.
That's really too bad that that's a side effect of that, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. I mean, we've been calling our patients 50 and older about the Shingrix vaccine, which is for shingles. And it's the same kind of thing. Well, that doesn't have that COVID stuff in it, does it? No, it doesn't. It's just simply for shingles. But people, again, they're just saying, nope, no thanks.
That's amazing, but true.
It is.
And also the strain of COVID, the way I understand it, is not the same as the one.
Right, viruses mutate.
Yeah.
It's just like influenza. Our vaccine for influenza this fall is what was influenza overseas this spring. Because what they'll do is they'll take what was prevalent overseas, and then for us, that's what they'll have. What's prevalent this fall for us in winter, that's what they'll do overseas then. And the flu vaccine is not 100%. You can still get influenza. The biggest thing with the flu vaccine, though, is typically if you get influenza, it's going to be what we call attenuated, so the symptoms aren't going to be as severe. Yeah, you'll still feel achy, but you're not going to feel like that truck ran over you, backed up to make sure they hit you, and then ran over you going again. Because I always tell people, the people that don't get a flu shot that truly get influenza, I mean, there's a lot of times we say we have the flu. But to truly have influenza, they're typically the first ones in line the next fall to get their flu shot.
Yeah,
because they feel so horrible.
It felt so bad.
And so, it's that time of the year. I usually recommend our customers wait till, more towards the end of October.
Okay.
First part of November, because then that's going to cover us through. A lot of people don't realize that February and March really are the two highest months for influenza, not January or December, January. So I waited a little longer. Now, if we had a big spike in the community, then okay, let's start giving them sooner, or let's recommend them sooner.
When do you go from recommending over-the-counter for flu or even COVID, as far as treating it, to a prescription type situation?
Well, for influenza, you really want to do it within 48 hours.
Okay.
And it used to be, we had Tamiflu that really, the studies really showed Tamiflu just cut your symptoms by 24 hours. So you really didn't get a lot of bang for your buck, I never thought. They've now come up with a newer one that's been out 3 years, and I've given it to people where they take it and they, like 12 hours, they feel like, I'm 100% better. So it's a little pricey. I think last year was right at $100 if you paid cash. But if you're going to miss 2 or 3 or 4 days of work, that well more than pays for it.
Well, or just the idea that you're going to feel like crud for 3 days.
Right.
Yeah.
For COVID, Paxlovid is the current shot that they recommend as far as if you get it. I've had 3 or 4 people that have had it, but they felt like the side effects of the Paxlovid was actually worse than the actual COVID. So that's not one that I typically will recommend. Okay. I typically will recommend for COVID is, bump up your vitamin D, bump up vitamin C, get some zinc on board, melatonin to help you sleep, quercetin, ibuprofen. I usually recommend 6 weeks of aspirin, enteric-coated aspirin, to reduce the risk of blood clots in people that truly have COVID. And then, keep yourself hydrated. Those are the bigger things that I recommend with COVID. There are our pharmacy next to us is a compounding pharmacy. They have a couple different supplements that kind of have all those things in them. that our people in Kearney will just go over. I'll just say go over and buy that, because then you're only taking one capsule instead of 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Quercetin is another supplement that's been recommended for COVID.
How do people now? Change subject here. Thank you for all that information.
Sure.
But anybody that's watched a sports contest, or if you watch a newscast, whether it be mainstream cable, or if you're on the left or right, or what you like to watch for your, let's call it, information.
You get the Wall Street Journal. That's the biggest medical journal.
Yeah, there you go. But I guess what I'm getting at is you're just overwhelmed with commercials about treatments, health, and so forth, because they know their target audience.
Right.
If you're watching cable news about it, even local news for that matter, there's a lot of commercials about health care and medicines and so forth. But when they do give you a medicine, half of the commercial, if not more, is these side effects that you're going to have from taking it.
Right. Yep. And that's, it's in a lot of countries they don't allow advertising for medicines.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of times that's what people will call about. I think I have this, so what about this medicine? Or, I always chuckle when they tell me that they were on Dr. Google, or they were on the internet, and I say, "Oh, Dr. Google, what Dr. Google tell you? 1, you got cancer. 2, you're going to die." So that's the predominant diagnosis. So, and I've actually had a couple people that have called up scared. Oh, God, we're figuring this out.
Yeah.
Because of what's out there. There are so many things that just because it's new doesn't mean it's better.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one of my staff in residency. I had one guy that everything new, he wanted to be the first one to prescribe it in the med center. And I had one of my staff members, one of my mentors, that said he wanted to be the last one to prescribe a new medication. Because just because it's new doesn't mean it's better. Mm-hmm. And a perfect example of that is Ozempic. We're seeing everybody wants the shot. I want a quick way to lose weight. I maybe have diabetes. I don't. I just want to lose weight. Well, the longer it's out, the more side effects we're coming up with, the more issues we're seeing, the more gastroparesis. There's a big lawsuit right now on paralysis of a couple people's intestines, to where they've had to have colostomies. So,
wow.
Every medicine has a side effect. It's just, how does it affect you?
Yeah.
And that's the thing I always try to stress is, 1, just because it's new doesn't mean it's better. It means it's more expensive because there's no generic for it.
Right.
But just because it's new, it's not better. And then 2, the longer it's out, the more comfortable I get in prescribing it, knowing what the side effects are. Especially the long-term side effects.
Okay. Is there a website? I think we've asked you this before, because you're talking Dr. Google, and I mean, you can go find anything and everything on the internet, whether it's right, wrong, or, I mean, it's scary, really. Where do you suggest people look on the internet for information?
I usually recommend mayoclinic.org or clevelandclinic.org. Those are 2 large regional health systems that have a lot of, they do a lot of research, and they have a lot of good information. There are a couple other smaller websites. Medline is one that sometimes I'll recommend, but usually I recommend Mayo or Cleveland Clinic.
Okay. Now, the other question with these commercials we're getting on TV, and I suppose on internet as well, is that for some reason they believe if they sing to you and dance, they can sell you more medicine. and they're just awful, and they lip sync these songs, and it just, my wife is so tired of me just going,
You don't like the Pepto-Bismol jingle?
No, I do not. I don't like the insurances that sing, and they're like putting on a musical to sell an insurance policy. It's just driving me crazy.
It's going to make you run right out and buy that. Get my phone. I want to call somebody.
Yeah. I guess what it comes down to is your practice is common sense. Let's take a look. Let's make the right decisions. Let's apply the right medicines, and talk it over, and have these discussions that you have with your people that come in to see you, that you can take the right path.
Well, I think the biggest thing with our model is that we have the time to educate.
Yeah.
And it's not the fault of clinics that take insurance because they have to have so much overhead that they have to see people every 15 minutes. But having just the time to be able to sit down and talk about things. And I look at myself more as an educator. So I give my customers options. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but here are different options. And what's the benefits of this? What's the risk of this? So it's, in the medical world, it's called informed consent or shared decision making. And that's what we do, is where we have the time to be able to do that, to allow our customers to make a decision that works for them. And not everybody, what works for you may be different than what works for Brent, just because of where you're at in your life, your lifestyle, finances, all those kind of things you have to take into account. Where if I have a 15-minute appointment and, like we've talked before, my nurse goes in, comes out, instantly I think, oh, well, I saw somebody yesterday with this, so that's what Dave must have. And then I walk in, I start asking questions. It's like, oh, no, that's not what Dave has. Damn it, now I'm going to be behind because it's going to take me longer to figure this out.
Yeah.
But I don't have the time to really sit down and go through those things of, well, this is a new medicine. This is what it costs. This is what we know the side effects are. We don't know the long-term side effects. This medicine's been around for 20 years. Here's what we know are the side effects, and we're pretty well set. That's what the side effects are because it's been out long enough. This is what you would expect. This is the time frame you'd expect it to work. This is what we're looking for it to do. All those kind of things. Where unfortunately in the fee-for-service world, doctors just don't have that time.
Yeah, it is somewhat frustrating, I think, for folks if they're in the waiting room for a lengthy amount of time. They get taken to the treatment room or where they're analyzed, and they sit in there for 4 times longer than what they actually spent with the doctor. And it is frustrating for people, and we're not blaming, like you say, the industry's built that way.
It's a problem with the system. It's a system flaw. It's not a particular clinic flaw. And I get it. I've been in that world, but I don't want to go back to that world. I like what I'm doing.
You're offering a different world.
And it's funny. We'll have people that will, especially around the first of the year, say, well, I have insurance now, so I'm going to drop you and I'm going to do my insurance. We've had 3 or 4 in the last 2 months that have come back and said, yeah, I'm not waiting an hour in the waiting room with sick, crying, screaming kids. And then I go in the room and I wait for a half hour, where here I walk in and I'm seen and I'm out. And, I'm willing to pay the money. Even though I have insurance still, I'm willing to pay the money for my monthly membership just so I can get seen when I need to be seen. And, a lot of medicine is, being seen at the right time, at the right place, and treated with the right medicine or treated with the right treatment. And unfortunately, we've been getting a lot of calls here in Broken Bow for acute visits, where they're just people are having trouble getting in the clinic here, getting in the clinic in Broken Bow, getting in the clinic in Callaway. So people are calling, hey, can we do a walk-in visit? Just because I can't get seen for a week for my symptoms. And, if they're already a customer, we can talk about, well, what are your symptoms? What can we go through? And a lot of times they don't even have to come in. But I can't give that advice to somebody that I don't have a relationship with, so they unfortunately do have to come in.
Yeah. The other thing that sometimes frustrates people is when they're in that room and that PA or that doctor comes in, and the file's sitting there, or it's on a laptop, and you can tell that they're looking at it they don't have time to pre-look at a lot of the files on you, so they're going to ask some of the same questions they asked last time because they can't remember. And honestly, you wouldn't expect they would, but it is kind of a funny feeling to realize we're going to go through this again, right?
Well, if you're seeing 20 to 25 people a day, and I work 4 days or 4.5 days a week, then I'm on call on the weekends. I saw you 3 months ago. That's 400 or 500 people.
Yeah, how are you going to remember
that I don't remember? So that is nice because I have the time that typically I can review the chart before anybody comes in to see me.
Yeah. So talk about before we close, and you have some notes there, but we want to cover. But talk about how people can take advantage of your way of doing medicine treatment.
Well, I think the biggest thing we offer is time. Time leads to relationship. Relationship leads to trust. So, one, we offer the time to be able to sit down and talk to people, but we also use technology. During COVID, insurance companies would pay for you to do a video visit. Well, now they're not paying for that again.
Okay.
So, that's built right into our electronic health record, that I send you a text or I send you an email, you click on the link. As long as you have internet and I have internet, we're connected and we're looking at each other. So technology is one of the things we try to utilize. Our younger patients especially, they don't want to come to the doctor. They would just as soon do it at home, do it from work, whatever. Our older patients, they still like that face-to-face, which is what we like to do because we want to build a relationship. But using technology, being able to have people text me pictures, pink eye, rash, laceration. I was here yesterday afternoon. A patient came into Kearney, laceration, pictures. Do they need to come up here so I can sew it up, or can we take care of it with steri strips? Well, we were able to take care of it with steri strips. Pink eye is a big one for parents. Rashes are a big one for parents. Little Johnny falls out of the tree at 7:00 on Friday night. Do we need to go to the ER for an x-ray? Well, let's do a video visit. And, is the arm nice and straight? Yeah. Okay. Well, let's put some ice on it, take a tea towel, make a sling, and let's reevaluate in the morning. If we need to see him in the morning, we'll see him in the morning. So those are the things that really are the advantage of what our model is. One is we have the time. Two, we utilize technology. And then three, the cost. Because you're paying every month, you don't get hit with these huge bills when you go in once or twice or 3 times a year, whether it's for an acute visit or whether it's for a chronic visit. Our lab work, people pay attention to it. I pay for the lab test. I charge $10 to stick the needle in your arm. I round the lab test up to the next dollar. So, we're saving people 85 to 95% on labs every day. In Kearney, we dispense medicines, so we're able to save people money on medicines. In Broken Bow, we don't do that because we have 2 pharmacies across the street. And as I've said before, my job is not to take business out of Broken Bow. My job is to support Broken Bow. So we recommend our people get their stuff across the street. But it's just utilizing the whole system of how can we provide better care for you. And simply, we're turning the clock back 50 years to where when you knew your family physician, they knew you, they knew what was going on in your life. We weren't running 25 through a day. Maybe some people did. My Uncle Lauren used to do that, but, there was a lack of doctors here too, but he used to have a huge draw. I don't know, did either of you go to his 90th birthday party?
No, but I talked to some folks who went and said it was fantastic.
Oh, it was a huge crowd.
Yeah.
It was a really good thing. I think he had a great day.
Good.
But that's what's been lost when medicine became corporatized, is that personal touch.
Yeah.
And, healthcare is a $3+ trillion a year industry that I always say has no customer service. If it is, why do you sit in the lobby for an hour and then you sit in the room for a half hour? I use the example, when I was in Omaha, one of our physicians had a beautiful black Audi A8. I mean, this car is a $100,000 car. And, walking in the parking lot, it's like, man, that car. He goes, well, I'll go home and every night I wipe it down when I put it in the garage. And I said, well, let me ask you this. If you go to the dealer to get your oil changed and they make you wait a half hour, how would you feel? He said, well, I'd be a little upset. I said, you go back? Oh, yeah, I'd go back. I said, well, if next time you went in, they told you to be there at 10, they didn't get you until 11:15. I said, how'd you feel then? He said, I'd be upset. I said, would you go back? He said, well, I'd have to think about it. I said, why do you expect your patients to sit in the lobby for an hour and 15 minutes for you?
Yeah, especially when they don't feel good.
Yeah, it's like he didn't get it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's different. Well, no, it isn't. Your time is just as valuable as my time.
Yeah.
So, and that's unfortunately, one of the sad parts about our healthcare system when it became corporatized is the customer, the patient got taken out of the equation, and me as a physician got taken out of the equation, and the insurance company and the hospital systems now control things. And, I ask people all the time that want to kind of want to diss on direct primary care physicians, like, well, who do you work for? Well, I work for XYZ hospital. I said, no, you don't. Who do you work for? Who writes your check? Blue Cross Blue Shield, Medicare, Medicaid, Aetna? They're telling you what to do.
Yeah.
You're not being a doctor. You're not providing the best care for your patient. Or your healthcare system is telling you, you got to refer here. You may have the worst cardiologist in town, but he works for my system, so I have to refer to them. So unfortunately it's become so corporatized and monetized that it's a sad thing for customers, a sad thing for me.
Well,
but
it's also,
we're trying to change that.
It's also kind of a familiar theme with all kinds of industries and trades. Yeah.
But unfortunately, people think bigger is better.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not true.
All right, you got a note there?
Yeah, a couple things. One, flu shots. I think they're going to be around $25 again this year for our patients. We're going to be closed Thursday and Friday here in Broken Bow. And I'm going to be by myself in Kearney. All of my staff is going off for training. So they wanted me to go, and it's like, if I go to I'm going to be on the phone all day long, so I'm just going to stay home and let them all go. So we will be closed. We'll be closing noon Wednesday. So if you have medicine need to be picked up, or stuff that we brought for you, lab results, those kind of things, need to get those before Wednesday at noon. Walk-ins are $109 for people that need to, just need a walk-in visit. Sports physicals, those things are pretty much all over.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I got.
Okay. All right.
Brett, you got anything else?
No, I don't think so. Some of the questions I had, Dave asked already. So good visit this morning.
Yeah, it's really cool what I do. I honestly can say I love my job, and it's just fun being able to help people get better without I tell people all the time, I'm not a pill pusher. It's nice to have the time to talk about, well, maybe we need to get a therapist involved. Maybe we just need to let it run its course. Maybe we need to look at aggressive lifestyle changes. With our wellness program that we started, we've seen a lot of transformation in people with, sleeping better, weight loss, blood sugars coming down, just overall better health, which has been a cool thing to see too.
All right.
And not using prescription drugs to do it.
Yeah. Probably some discussions is maybe what you could eliminate safely from what they're taking, I would imagine.
Yeah, we have a few of those conversations. Especially, I don't have a lot of Medicare patients, but especially older Medicare patients. I used to have that a lot, when I did nursing home rounds, as far as they've had a stroke. Why are we doing this?
Yeah. All three of those applications, right?
Yeah, I had our old neighbor we used to help take care of. She was 94 and got diagnosed with insulin resistance. 94. So she wouldn't eat pie.
Yeah.
It's like, Frida, you're 94.
I know.
Thin, exercise 6 days a week, have a piece of pie.
Have a piece of pie. Thank you, Doc.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. We'll be right back after these words.
Simple process, tough processor. That's the Vermeer BPX 9010 bale processor summed up in 4 words. But if you need the full story, how about the ability to accurately spread bedding up to 50 feet? Or create a consistent and tidy windrow of crop along your bunk line. With 10 different settings, you control the pace of your processing speed, material size, and more. Heck, even Goldilocks didn't get that many options. Stop out at Power Solutions to see why the Vermeer BPX 9010 bale processor is just right for you. 2 miles east of Broken Bow on Highway 2, or call 872-5522.
Headaches, ear ringing, neck pain, dizziness, brain fog. Is your jaw pain to blame? Pearson Physical Therapy wants to be your partner in finding out. Tension and dysfunction in the jaw and surrounding muscles can lead to a number of symptoms that disrupt your daily life. It can be hard to know who to seek out for help. We invite you to come see us at Pearson Physical Therapy to learn how your jaw dysfunction can be managed so that you can get back to not having to deal with daily aggravation. Call us at 872-5800 or stop by on West Highway 2, Broken Bow.
Wherever you find WorkSmart, you'll find producers saving money. WorkSmart is the innovative line of credit from Farm Credit Services of America. Along with its competitive interest rates and farmer-friendly terms, WorkSmart delivers interest savings, cashback dividends, and cash rewards, too. Add them all up, and the savings can be significant. Terms apply. Visit FCSAmerica.com and see how much you can save. Or call 800-884-FARM. Agriculture works here.
And
action.
It's Dave and Brent getting the action started on the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show on KCNI KBBN.
Well, good morning, everybody. Mark Stock here, and today we have got several machinery auctions. We start off this morning with the Husker Harvest Days No Reserve Dealer and Farmer Machinery Sale. Starts to close at 9 o'clock this morning. Big Case IH Quad Track tractor will sell. A 2022 Landowner Super Tack 19-foot horse trailers on this sale. There's an automatic ATG 6020 roller mill. It's a 2019 year model. There's a 2022 New Holland C337 compact track loader. Also, several John Deere combines, like a John Deere S770 combine, a Case IH Magnum 340 mechanical front tractor, John Deere 8335R mechanical front tractor, plus several grain carts. That sale starts to close this morning at 9 a.m., so dial up the Big Iron website for all of that information. At 10 o'clock, folks, we have the Western Equipment LLC auction. And this is 111 items that come from this John Deere dealership group throughout Texas. And they've got late model John Deere balers, rotary cutters, anhydrous applicators, numerous tractors with loaders, late model John Deere S780 combines, John Deere R40 44 self-propelled sprayers, big four-wheel drive tractors also selling, plus a big quad track 9570 RX. They've got some late model John Deere 9800i four-wheel drive forage harvesters. So a big sale taking place in Texas online on bigiron.com. Plus today we also have the Carl Newquist and Beverly Newquist Revocable Trust real estate sale. Land in Nance County, Nebraska, 311 acres, will sell to the highest bidder. There's some pivot irrigated farmland and some dry cropland and pasture land in these two different tracts. John Stock and Jim Stock will be in Columbus to answer any questions as that real estate sells today to the highest bidder. Go to the Big Iron website for all of today's machinery and real estate auction action. And then tomorrow, folks, on Wednesday, September the 18th, a big sale over 1,370 items will sell. The first items start to close at 9 a.m. Some of the featured sellers are Techstar Equipment Sales. They're out of Marlin, Texas. We've also got some real estate selling in Dorchester, Nebraska here on the 18th. And then on the 19th, folks, we've got some real estate selling by Auburn, Nebraska. And we have some more machinery that will sell here next week on our big Wednesday sale that features over 2,000 items. So please check out the September 24th sale. If you are in the market, folks, for some machinery or for some land, dial up the Big Iron website for all the latest information. If you have machinery or land you would like to sell, it starts with a phone call to 402-276-2077. Dial that number, and we will connect you to the rep that works in your specific area. That's 402-276-2077. Now, we've got a Friday night football game in Lincoln. If you're coming to the football game, please tailgate with Big Iron if you're a bidder, a buyer, a seller. If you are coming to the football game, we're on the west side of the stadium under the viaduct with the yellow tents amongst the sea of red. Come on over 3 hours before kickoff on a Friday, and we will celebrate the 400th consecutive sellout here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I want to thank everybody for supporting and using the Big Iron website. Once again, if you have questions, 402-276-2077. Thank you very much. Have a great week.
Thank you, Mark Stock, Big Iron Auction Company. We appreciate you being on the air this morning. And we appreciate the guests we have in each and every day. And we have Nate Bell, if I can say that this morning. Bale, I don't think that's correct.
No, nope.
You've been a Bell for a long time, haven't you?
Most of my life. Yeah.
As long as you can remember.
Yeah.
All right. So how's the insurance biz?
It's good. It's going. Yeah. It's been a while since I've been on here, but yeah, it's good. Yeah. Just staying busy, and as everybody knows, premiums have went up for about everything. So yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. I imagine we could do a whole show on that, but I'm not sure we want to.
Nah, no one wants to talk about it. Yeah, believe me.
I guess the thought there, maybe the conversation should be how it all evolved. And I think we've talked about that before on the air with our weather these days and all the different things that have happened here regionally, and I guess it affects insurance when it happens out on the East and West Coast, for that matter.
Weather, inflation, there's just a variety of factors in play. And the good news is inflation seems to be on its downward. It's leveling off, if not moving downwards, and we're starting to see used car prices start to come down, new car prices start to come down, home prices should start coming down here after they start lowering interest rates. All of those things, the cost of materials, all that stuff plays into what your insurance premium is. And much like how the Fed works to affect interest rate or affect inflation, it's a little bit of a lagging thing, and insurance is it had to play catch up. It's caught up, I think, for the most part, in most cases, and now it should start leveling off. That's the fingers crossed. That's the hope, because the last couple of years have been pretty rough. So
and it always
on everybody's pocketbook for everything, not just insurance.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah, and it always takes longer for it to go down than it did.
Yeah, I don't anticipate going backwards, but I anticipate the increases not being double digits anymore.
Yeah,
that's my hope anyway.
So being able to offer a lot of different options in the insurance industry, I think, is where it's at right now, and I think that's what you're doing.
Yeah, so part of the reason I came out here is we wanted to talk about our name change from Universal Insurance, which we've been since 1964, to High Street Insurance, and kind of talk about what that means. And a lot of it has to do with, it was the right decision 3 years ago when we sold and merged with High Street Insurance, because it allowed us to weather the storm of what's going on in the insurance world right now, where companies, many of them aren't even writing new business. They don't want new business. They're telling people to, they'll canceling policies. Because we made that move 3 or 4 years ago, we've been able to maintain and help our customers stay with us, whether or not be the same company they may be with. And this transition now is we're just changing our name. We've been High Street. We've been part of High Street for over 3 years now. And so all of our customers have been part of High Street for a long time. They just didn't know it. But now we're transitioning to the name. I don't know when you'll see a new name on our sign outside front, but it's still hard for us to answer the phone, High Street, but we're doing our best. But yeah, that name change has so much more to it on the backside that allows us to help those customers in a variety of ways. I mean, we have access now to some top-level health insurance experts, top-level crop insurance experts in the state of Nebraska, not just nationally. I'm working on businesses now that are in the state of Nebraska that work internationally that I would have not been able to help sell insurance before. I've insured airplanes, which I was not able to do before. And like I said, again, our customers don't have to leave us. We have literally the full gamut of insurance services now, which is a wonderful thing. So,
yeah. Well, one of the reasons that we have been with you for a number of years here at the station is that you were, before all this,
right,
you were one of the few insurance companies in the area that could offer a marine policy for our towers.
Right. Yep.
And I think we've found you here locally, like we want to do, but we were having trouble finding at that time. Nobody wanted to cover a tower or two. And
yeah, and for the longest time, we were one of the few folks that could do some of that commercial insurance that's more difficult. Over time, it became more and more difficult for us to do those things. We used to insure most of the large businesses around here. Well, the cool thing is we can start doing that again.
Yeah.
And even get more and more. And, it's reinvigorating for Jack and I as sellers of insurance to know that we can go into a business and sell them a policy that they're buying in Omaha. There are reasons for that maybe, but just like we want people to shop locally for everything, you can walk in my office and have a conversation about your insurance. You can't walk into your insurance agent's office in Omaha and get that same type of conversation. In fact, you probably won't even talk to him. You'll talk to somebody else. It'll be a service center or a call center. One of the reasons we chose to go with High Street in the beginning is because their goal and their vision for that national brand is to be the local agent across the desk. There's a lot of large agencies like ours in the country, but most of them are in large cities, working as call centers and working as very impersonal, in my opinion, and that's what drove us to this particular brand. And you're seeing it around the county too. We've got a High Street location, formerly J.R. Meyer Agency in Callaway. And then all the way over in Valley County to Ag Pro and Ord is also a high street agency, and there's 42 other locations in Nebraska. So
it's the way to offer those services you want to offer.
Yeah, it absolutely is a way to offer the best services, the best insurance products for our customers, provide the level of service locally that you come to appreciate. We have not changed any of that, It just allows the ebbs and flows of the world. It allows us to continue to do what we want to do and help the customers and not have to have them worry about what's going to happen next. So,
well, I don't think anything in business gets less complicated. It always gets more complicated with all the different regulations and all the different things out there, and then all the different decisions I have to make. Do I need to spend money to protect this, or does that make sense? And it's so nice to be able to sit down with somebody who's in the industry and talk to them about it.
Yeah, it's a pretty regular basis, and it's always scary. But we when we sit down with new clients, the things they're missing on their policy that they didn't even know they were missing, that's what we pride ourselves on. And we spend the time. Premium is important; it always is, but when you pay that premium, you want to be covered for what you're expecting to be covered for. And a lot of times clients like yourself put their trust in us to do that job. And so while we want to make sure you're paying the lowest premium you possibly can, we also want to make sure the premium is effective and you're getting the coverage you expect. And so we'll find, when we do our reviews, when we meet with new customers, we'll find coverages they thought they had that they didn't have, or they didn't know they needed legally, even in some cases. And so those are very, very important, and those are conversations we have on a regular basis, and that's what we provide, and we pride ourselves on that. So,
and the other side of that is might be paying for some insurance that you don't necessarily need.
Yeah. I mean, we're very open and honest about that too. I mean, there's not a lot of need for terrorism coverage around here, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're in certain industries, for the most part, we're probably not going to have a terrorist attack around here. So, I don't know if you need a terrorism coverage on your pivot.
Probably not.
But sometimes they're required to. It's automatically put on the policy. So in some cases,
and they wouldn't know that.
Nope.
So there you go. Question, Brent.
I was just High Street. Is this a national company? Okay.
Yeah, it's we're a top 20 agency now in the country. It's based at originally was started about, I think I've lost the number of years, 7 years ago in Traverse City, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, they were started on the concept. It was to be the more personal, independent insurance agency instead of the large corporate one. A lot of the folks came from different independent agencies around the country, and we're the largest region of this organization, but it continues to grow on a regular basis. So, all those things allow us to provide better service, in my opinion, and better access to things. So, like I said, I would have never thought I'd been working with trying to help a client that has employees all over the country, works in Mexico, Africa, Singapore, Australia. It's a local Nebraska company that needs to have insurance that goes all over the world, and we're able to provide that. And it's a fun process for me to figure that out and know that we can still help them. I would have not been able to do that in the past.
Yeah. So if you're a business person out there listening within the sound of our voice, you might consider checking in with Nate and Jack and finding out whether they can help you now or they couldn't help you before.
Correct. Absolutely. The world is always changing in the insurance world. There's always, if we weren't able to help you a couple of years ago, we might be able to help you now. And that's the thing that is always, it's always in flux and changing. And we're always trying to get better at doing that. And that's what we enjoy it. We have the ability to ride airplanes and drones now, and there's a lot of ag spraying drones businesses starting up, and we have the ability to do that as an example. So
yeah, it's a very good example because
Yep.
that's a booming thing.
Yeah, and it's not very easy to insure. I mean, you got motorized things flying around with chemicals. I mean, it's
it's supposed to know to come back, but
Right.
maybe it won't.
Right, exactly.
All right. So, kind of a personal question: made the transition from baseball, summer of baseball, which I know you love.
Yeah.
And had a wonderful summer to enjoy with all the
It was great.
baseball
Yeah.
players out
It was a
there
lot of
that you worked with. And what is your hobby now?
Just following Logan as he runs cross country and working at home and getting caught up on yard work and all the stuff that's happening.
Well,
yeah,
that's not
absolutely.
that
Watching the
glamorous,
Royals
but-
hopefully make it to the playoffs.
Oh, there
again.
you go. Yeah, the baseball is kind of winding down to where it's getting fun to watch. It's fun all the time. Well, Nate, thanks a lot for coming in and updating folks about,
Appreciate the time. Thank you, guys.
The change, but not really the change, maybe just more and better, right?
Yep, more and better, and it's a marketing and advertising logo change that you guys won't notice any difference.
Yeah,
So.
because you've been with this company for 3 years.
Yeah, it's been going on for 3 years, and you didn't even know it.
No, we didn't, but we do now.
Yep.
Thanks, Nate.
Yep, thank you.
We'll take a quick time out with these words.
Aero Aviation is happy to have served the area since 1971, and they look forward to serving you for years to come. Their aircraft is equipped with the latest in GPS guidance and flow control technology, and they're always searching for the next big thing in aviation. Contact Casey and Melissa Williams at 872-5113 and talk to them about your fall pasture spraying. That's Aero Aviation, proud to serve Custer County and surrounding areas.
It's fall now, but we know that seasons move fast in Nebraska. Prepare for the winter sports season at Geared for Sports. Whether you're a fan or an athlete, Scott is excited to announce they now carry apparel from Free Fly for both men and women. And if you're needing a new pair of running shoes, it's worth your time to check out the Mount to Coast brand. Of course, Husker Gear is all over inside as well. Open Monday to Friday 10 to 6, Saturday 10 to 4. Geared for Sports on the Square in Broken Bow.
Lashley Land & Recreational Brokers is proud to be servicing the Custer County area, and currently land is moving at a high rate of speed. So if you are considering selling your land, now is the time, or get an opinion of what your land might be worth. Call me, John Farley, at 308-530-7854, or check me out at lashleyland.com.
Pittsburgh are rolling down that eastern seaboard. I got my diesel wound up and she's a-running like I never before. There's a speed zone ahead, well, all right. I don't see a cop in sight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. I got me 10 forward gears on a Georgia overdrive. I'm taking little white pills and my eyes are open wide. I just passed a Jimmy in a white. I've been a passing everything inside.
The Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki.
And in our studios currently, sunshine, 67 degrees, winds are south, 10 to 15 miles per hour, barometer 29.89, and the humidity 80%. High yesterday hit 84, the low dropped to 63. Our precip total for the month of September still showing just 0.07 of an inch in precip recorded for the month thus far here at our KCNI and KBBN studios. Good to have you with us. Brent with you in the studio, and a lot of wonderful gentlemen joining me now. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning, Brad.
Brian Palmer is here with Runza. Pastor Phil Sloat is here with us. Lloyd McIntyre, Superintendent of Anselmo Myrna Public Schools, with us. Gentlemen, welcome. Brian, I'm going to start with you because this is a big day for Runza because you're teaming with teammates
Absolutely.
today.
Yes.
Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, I'll give you the Runza side of this, and then let you get to the meat and potatoes and the important part of the day for sure.
Okay.
Runza, all 90 Runza stores today will be taking 10% of their sales and giving that back to local teammates, organizations, or chapters. Chapters.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And making sure that these people can continue to develop our youth and the great work that they're doing to improve our communities through youth mentoring. And I'm proud to be part of the Runza organization for many reasons, but this is again one of my favorite giving days, if you will. We have several of them at Runza, but I love the fact that it's going back to a group that's going to get that money, all the money back into resources to keep developing great youth in our communities.
Yeah, and this is something that Runza is doing store-wide. I mean, all across the state and
chain-wide.
Chain-wide,
Yep,
okay.
Yep,
yeah.
all 90 locations take part in it. We've got, the footprint of that is, there's 20 stores in Omaha, and so how they divvy theirs up amongst their local chapters, kind of between them. But yeah, every store does, and I'm sure that if I know Runza, it's all getting accounted for, getting put back to where it needs to be with the people that are supporting it. So, for my plug for Runza on this is we hope to see all of you every day, but know that 10% of your spending today is going to go back to a local cause that's amazing for our community for now and development of our community down the road too.
And I assume if someone comes to Runza and they're like, you know what, I'd like to donate a little bit more than just what I'm purchasing at Runza today, I assume they're able to do that?
Absolutely. Okay. That'll get right off top given at the end of the day to the volunteers. That's one other thing I didn't touch on earlier too is, as somebody runs a business, part owner of a business, we get asked for a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
A lot of people asking.
Mm-hmm.
And if it grew on trees, we'd fill every need that we possibly could. What I really love about this is that I've got the two organizations between Anselmo Myrna and Broken Bow's teammates programs. They're going to have their volunteers, the people running the program, the people helping the youth. We're going to have them in our store today, and they're going to help us do the work too.
Mm-hmm.
It goes a long ways for me. We were going to do this no matter what, but the fact that the people running these programs are in there helping us wipe down tables, say hi to our customers. I'm sure I'll hand out some job applications at the end of the day as well.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
The fact that we're not just asking but willing to do the work and help goes a long ways with somebody like me.
Sure.
So, you might get your food served to you by somebody not in a black costume today even, and know that they're there helping to promote the cause.
Yeah, fantastic. And this is all day today, right?
Yep. We'll open at 10:30, drive-through closes at 9:30, sales tally through the whole thing. Yep.
Okay. All right. Mr. McIntyre, I'm going to turn to you next, here with us from Anselmo Myrna Public Schools. Talk a little bit about what you've seen from the Teammates Mentoring Program within the school at Anselmo Myrna.
Sure. Well, I just thinking about teammates and the impact that it has on communities. Our future lies with our children, and building those relationships with young people is so important. And then being intentional about how we place, a caring adult with a young person yields great benefits in our school and in our community. And I can talk a little bit more about some of those examples. One that, and I shared this earlier, that kind of resonates with me is the relationship my sister had with her mentee. She's a nurse. My sister Daisha, she's a nurse practitioner in Hastings, Nebraska, and she had a mentee that was a child of immigrant parents. Really, just kind of lacked clarity around what her future looked like, and they're still connected. The young lady is now enrolled in a nursing program. A very clear understanding of like what her future holds. And I think a lot of that has to do with the relationship that they had and developed over time. I've seen firsthand, in our school, our kids interacting with those adults that come into the building, lots of smiles, playing games, but just the intentionality behind it, I think really yields some results and positively impacts our kids and ultimately our communities.
Well, I think one of the neat things about the program is those who are serving as mentors, you're not a parent, you're not a teacher, you're just there to be a friend, right? And I think maybe that's a good transition to Pastor Sloat now, because I believe you're a mentor.
I
and
am,
so
yes.
talk a little bit about that relationship.
Well, currently I am waiting for a mentee to come along. I began as a mentor with a young man who was a 6th grader or 5th, or anyway, he was in the beginning of the middle school area, and it was I don't know if we weren't the best fit or what, but it was one of those things that after a little while he decided that maybe he wasn't needing that anymore. Yeah. So at the moment I'm waiting for a new assignment. And so that's really kind of irritating. I don't know if irritating is the right word, but it's sort of like the anticipation of looking forward to this and then having to sit and wait. And it's unfortunately in Broken Bow right now we have a situation where we have a lot of adults willing to serve as mentors, but we don't have as many families that have indicated that they want their child to have one. And so we're kind of it's an unusual situation, I think, perhaps that we've got a little bit more of the volunteer pool available. We're trying to move back into an emphasis on the younger kids, starting with the 3rd graders up at North Park, and we're also working on a program with I can't remember the name of the organization at least, but it's a literacy program that provides books. And so we're really wanting to try and reach out to young people who maybe are struggling a little bit with reading and who might benefit from a mentor that could help them with that.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. The people from the Broken Bow chapter are going to be volunteering over the noon hour today, and then the folks from Anselmo Murno will be covering the dinner time. So that's kind of fun. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If someone wants to become a mentor, they're kind of interested about it. I believe, is it teammates.org? Is that the website?
That is the website, and it's a very simple process. You when you get on that website, there's a kind of a big, I think, red block that says Become a Mentor. You click on it, and that just leads you through the process. Mentors do have to be screened and vetted, and then they do have to go through some training. But it's all done online now, which is very user friendly. So people with any degree of computer skills and access to the internet can do it quite easily.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I know that lots of times the question is, well, what is the time commitment? And it's really, Mr. McIntyre, I believe it's just kind of like maybe once a week, and to for the safety aspect, it's on campus at the school, right?
Yeah. Yep. So our mentors, and we're looking, just a shameless plug here. We're looking for a couple of adults. We'll have 5 more kids come online this year, and we're going to be short a couple mentors. So if you're interested, Jen Schmidt is our local coordinator. She's really good about answering questions and just kind of giving you an understanding of like what it looks like at our school. It's a weekly meeting. It happens on campus, and in our school, like what I've observed, our kids, playing games with their mentors, engaged in conversations around planning the future, things that they enjoy, but really just working to build that relationship for the long haul. And lots of excitement, when those mentors show up. The mentees are excited to see them, and those relationships just continue to grow and flourish over time. Some of the kids in our school have been with their mentors for multiple years, and it's just really neat, to see that take place in our community. I think it really pays dividends. So.
What I've enjoyed is talking with mentees and mentors. It can be a win-win for both, right? I mean, Absolutely. The mentor can get as much out of it as the mentee, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. It's something that we hope is a blessing to both, and I think it really turns out that way almost always. That the adults who volunteer get just as much out of it or more than the kids. So.
Yeah. I hope this is a fair question. Maybe Mr. McIntyre would be the best to ask this. The funds that you receive from this day, from Runza, or the funds to support the Teammates program, how do you utilize them at AM schools? Is that a fair question?
Yeah, so in our situation, obviously there are some like expenses that come along with the programming, like some of the games and things that we've done, some of the advertisement. I know we've done some, like we did root beer floats at a football game, but the money is going back to the kids and that relationship building piece. And so we're making investments in how they're able to spend that time together, making sure they have access to some of those games and things that they build those relationships over, but that's primarily how it's used in our setting.
Yeah. Anything else, guys, that you want to mention? We'll go back to Brian here in a second and recap the day, but
I would just, on behalf of, somebody who cares deeply about kids in this community, thank KBBN for, providing the opportunity to talk more about it, and obviously Runza for your partnership and supporting young people in our community. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well said.
And our mentors.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Absolutely. Yes.
So Brian, maybe someone's just tuning in. Let's kind of recap what's happening today. Runza teaming with Teammates today.
Yep.
So just kind of recap what's going to go on today.
So pretty simple. Come eat at Runza.
Yeah.
10% of what you spend there is going to go back to the Teammates mentoring programs here locally. 10:30 to 9:30 all day long. It's not a hour over lunch or 2 hours over supper. It's the whole day.
Yeah.
So makes math easy.
There you go. Yes.
It's just a pretty simple formula that we're very, very proud to be a part of, and expect to be very busy today. We're busy most days, as most people know, but we've got some extra staff on hand today. We're going to have the volunteers. We're going to try and get you fed with great food as fast as possible, and give back to a great organization that I believe in a lot.
All right. Fantastic. And there will be members from the Broken Bow and Anselmo Myrna Teammates programs in schools that will be helping out throughout the day, correct?
Mainly over the rush hours.
Okay.
So mainly Broken Bow at the noon hour, and then Anselmo Myrna in the dinner time hour.
All right.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right.
Anything else, guys, before we let you go, or have we kind of covered it?
Well, thanks for getting us some time today. I think
Absolutely.
This is great. I think Deb was in yesterday, and make sure we're getting the word spread, not just for coming and eating today, but the need for kids, the need for volunteers. I think it can't be said enough, and the more these programs grow, I just think that it improves our youth. And as Mr. McIntyre said, I mean, it's not cliche. It's our future.
Absolutely.
And when they're given more opportunities to be around great influences, I've never met anybody that said, I just had too many great influences in my life.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I've never
Very
heard
good
it.
point.
I've never heard it.
Yeah.
So,
well, guys, thank you very much. Have a great day today, and we appreciate you taking the time to visit with us.
what time will you be in for
I
lunch?
was going to ask the same
What's that?
question.
What time will you be in for
bring
lunch?
your son?
Well, I don't. It'll be after 1 o'clock.
Okay.
They don't let me go for lunch until late.
And
in
we
the
don't
day.
we don't close the doors until
All right.
9:30 tonight.
Okay.
And you're a romantic, as we all know. I'm sure you'll be trying to get your bride out for a date.
Absolutely. Yes. I might have her pay, but
you probably prefer the breakfast runzas, I'm assuming. Have you had the breakfast runzas?
Don't look at me like that.
No, a breakfast runza.
It's a thing.
Really?
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know this. Are you
let's-
holding out on me,
let's-
Palmer? What's going
I'm
on?
trying to open that can of worms.
Let's talk briefly about this. I'm sure you have people that need to get back to work
Yes.
right now. But a Lincoln store did a fundraiser for a local event there, and they made breakfast runzas. And
Now this sounds like this could be a hit.
Brent, I will put this back on you so fast it's not even funny. It was a hit.
Yeah.
I mean, there were people lined up. I think it was in 27th Street. It was a busy runza. They had people lined up forever. They ran out of them. It was a huge hit. It got, I think, local media coverage in Lincoln, made the news.
Really?
Yeah, and I have fielded a lot of questions about breakfast runzas since then. No, you're fine. You're fine. This is just a good chance. I have several people out there that I hope are really listening to this. Yeah, several people. Todd, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. It was a one-time event in a store in Lincoln, and it was a great opportunity for them.
Sure.
I do not see it as a future for any of the Runza stores or Broken Bow. And as much as we might enjoy the idea of it, if it happens, it sounds like you and Mr. McIntyre
I'll be at the lunch.
will be coming in at about 3:00.
I was just going to say we're going to be the ones making them.
You know, we're there at 7:00 to get food started for a 10:30 open because we make it fresh every day. So if it does pass, I'll be contacting you guys.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you'll love it for about one day.
Well, hey, one of the things that is unique about the Broken Bow store is Pig in a Blanket on Wednesdays,
Yes.
right?
That is.
There is one other Runza. I believe it's Holdridge.
Kevin was telling me about this.
I think
and
Holdridge.
I don't know. I thought there
it's
was
not
two.
Hastings.
I thought there was a couple of other stores that did it.
I think
but
it's
maybe it's
just
one.
Holdridge that does it. But yeah, I know we go to some Broken Bow chain, not events, but trainings and meetings and whatnot, and we get cussed for it a little bit, you know, because our people will, you know, venture out, go to other towns. It's, you know, it's like, hey, can I get a pig in a blanket? And you know, they probably got some poor gal just started a week ago learning how to take orders, and she goes, "What's that?" You know, and they're in Broken Bow, and we get cussed a little bit, but we're going to go above and beyond for our people here and keep doing it. So
Sounds good. Well, you're going to be helping us out, and we're going to be teaming together with the Pig in a Blanket a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, Dave and I talked about that a little bit more. We do have your house as a backup location in case something goes awry. So we're going to be doing something. But
oh, really? Okay.
Make sure you got your yard mowed.
Oh, okay. My residence will be the overflow. Is that what you're saying, or something like that?
Yeah. The after pig party.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Well, we'll be telling people more about that. Today it's about teammates and Runza.
Yes.
And so we encourage you to stop by Runza and know that a portion of the proceeds and sales from today will be going back into our area teammates programs. So, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.
9:23 is the time. You're listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show.
Gonna close my eyes. Girl, watch you go.
All right, we're back on the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Good to have you with us. 9:26 is the time. Some things to get caught up on, and to help us get caught up on things, ladies and gentlemen, Christy Wells is in the studio. Hi there.
Good morning.
Nice shirt, by the way.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, we match. Well, let's get to some live reads. And I can't, every time we come to this live read once a month, I think I always say, is it really the third Thursday of the month?
Yeah, you do
already?
say that every time.
I say that every time, and so I thought that'd be a great lead-in this time around, because it is the third Thursday of the month.
It is. It will be this week, third Thursday. So it is the monthly Sip and Shop at Rustic and Red in downtown Cozad. From 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., they'll have sales all day. This month, you'll find 25% off ladies' apparel, 25% off purses, and 25% off pillows. Sipping starts at 4, but the sales will run all day. You also can register for a chance at a door prize, and then they also give you a coupon to use on your next visit. Note, I won the door prize last month.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. And the door prize was?
It was this, well, I haven't got to go see it, but or get it. But when I registered for it, it was like this beautiful lantern, just a decorative centerpiece. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm excited to go get it.
I bet you are. Yeah.
So,
all
yeah.
right. So that's happening today, Rustic and Red.
Is today Thursday?
Tomorrow.
Okay, I'm like, wait.
Thursday. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I don't know what day it is. Today's Tuesday, Thursday. Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Not even tomorrow. It's Thursday.
What am I doing today? What is Tuesday? I've got volleyball tonight. Would you
do.
remind me of that
You
at
do.
about 2 o'clock this afternoon?
I will make sure
that
you
I
get
have
out
to
the
go
door.
to a volleyball tournament. Here's something that's going on Friday,
Okay.
September 20th from 2 to 4. Wild Rose Gallery, they are really putting together a lot of different classes and fun things, and they've got another one coming up. This particular class is going to cost you $35 with youth over 8 welcome, and they would be at half price. The class is going to be taught by Chris Brown, a delightful, helpful educator from the Museum of Nebraska Art, and this is Fun with Espresso. This is for beginners and anyone who wants to laugh and have a good time creating a picture with real espresso and paper. Some ideas to jaunt your creative side will be available, or you can let your imagination lead your brush. You can learn how to do this at home and then make cards and gifts. All supplies for the class will be provided. Please respond as soon as possible. I think they're kind of limited as to how many people can get into the class. So for more information, these are the numbers, 872-2632, that's 872-2632, or 870-0995. That is Fun with Espresso at Wild Rose Gallery, Friday, September 20th from 2 until 4.
Okay.
What else you got over there?
Next, I have Brewbakers. Brewbakers Coffee House in Arnold, an historic destination with a full barista bar and gift shop. They are open 8 to 5, Tuesday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 until 3, serving breakfast burritos and bagels, fresh squeezed lemonade, Consuelo handbags, yard decor, fun pickleball sets, fresh baked goods, and home decor, all there at Brewbakers Coffee House in Arnold, so check them out. Every week they have a Customer of the Week, so stop in and give yourself a chance at a free beverage by registering for that, and then greeting cards also are in stock for every occasion, too. And that is something that's hard to remember to pick up before you need them. So if you ever need a greeting card, Brewbakers. So also going to be open for Junk John. So stop in and find something to take home.
Man, Junk John's like
Yes.
right around the corner.
It will be.
Isn't it? Wow. Hey, RT Ace Hardware in Broken Bow is looking for a part-time team member. Hours will vary. Some weekends will be necessary. They have the best customers and team members in a fast-paced, fun atmosphere. They also say that they could have the possibility for a high school student to help them out who maybe wants to work from, say, 4 to 6, Monday through Friday. Could also include free periods and some weekends. So if interested in joining the RT Ace Hardware team, contact Crystal or Joe for more information and an application. You can reach them at 308-872-2449. That's 872-2449. Or email bb at rtace.net. And finally, we do want to remind you about our good friend Roxanne there at the Nebraska Land Hearing Center. You'll find them in downtown Broken Bow. Their office is in the Broken Bow Chamber Building. Roxanne is a board-certified hearing instrument specialist with over 35 years of experience. Do you struggle with your hearing and or worry about missing out on conversations with family and friends at gatherings? Well, if so, stop in to see Roxanne because she can help. Also offers some very neat things like free hearing evaluation and free office calls, free extended warranties on new hearing aids, extended discounts for new and returning patients just for staying local. Pricing available in all budgets and technologies. So make your appointment today by calling 308-384-3852. That's 308-384-3852 for the Nebraska Land Hearing Center. Anything else on your mind that we need to discuss or anything? All good?
I think I'm good today.
Okay. We do have one more thing left to do before we close out the show entirely, and that is give you an opportunity to get registered in our weekly $75 cash drawing that we will be doing. I'm struggling this morning all of a sudden. That we will be doing on Friday morning on the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. We got just a couple of these left. So here's your chance to get registered for this week's drawing. This is going to be text only, all right? We're just going to open up the text line for you. You can text your first and last name to this number, 308-870-0333. 870-0333. Text your first and last name, and we'll get you registered in our $75 weekly cash drawing. The text line is now closed. Thanks for texting, everybody. Those of you who did will get you entered to win in our $75 weekly cash drawing, which we will do on Friday on the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Don't forget, we've got high school volleyball on the air for you tonight. We'll be in Ansley for the Ansley-Litchfield Triangular with the Lady Spartans, also Central Valley and Arcadia Loop City. They'll be the three teams involved. We'll have all three varsity matches on the air for you tonight on KBBN 95.3 FM, on the web too at kbbn.com. And we'll also do the live video stream as well, accompanied by the radio call, so you can watch the action tonight through the Sandhills Express Facebook page or Sandhills Express YouTube channel. Opening varsity match is scheduled for 5 o'clock later on today. That does it for the show today. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and we'll visit with you again tomorrow.